Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Very nice to have you. Oh, it looks like okay. Okay, there we go.
Yes,
Okay.
there we are. For all the kirtan, I couldn't hear you at all.
Yeah, I'll just repeat it. Thank you everyone for coming, and especially thank you to Maharaj for being able to join us today for Sunday class. So I'll just hand it over to you, Maharaj.
Thank you. And let me know what your routine is. Do you do a little kirtan first? Do you?
It depends on the speaker, so whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, we'll do a little kirtan just.
Okay.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktive Tanta Swāmī Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Radha Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupad Puraman Supri Prajakacharya Ashto Turasata Shri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swāmī Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Nama Charger Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kundi Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Ki Jai. Gangamayi Ki Jai. Jamunamayi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you all for coming, and especially to devotees from east of the Atlantic. Welcome.
I can't wait for you. No, when you walk. No.
And we need to mute. Okay. I'm going to speak today from Srimad Bhagavatam 9.468. Om Jnanatimidandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurn Miditam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mayam Dathati Shapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Chatapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kamshana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hori Priye Vanshako Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Pyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sadhavo hridayam mayam sadhunam hridayam tvaham madanyate na jananti naham tebhyo managapi. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the heart of the pure devotee. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anyone else but them. This verse was spoken by the Supreme Lord to Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni had offended Maharaj Ambarish, a great devotee of the Lord, over a trifling matter. The Maharaj Ambarish had broken the Dwadasi, broken the Ekadasi, ended the Ekadasi Pran, just by drinking a little water. And you've drunk water, you haven't received me properly, but already you're drinking water. So the Durvasa Muni took offense, but the Lord took offense at Durvasa Muni's attempt to punish Ambarish Maharaj. And the result was that Durvasa Muni was chased all over the universe by the Sudarshan Chakra. And finally, he surrendered to Lord Vishnu for protection, but that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. You've offended my devotee, so I won't forgive you. It's not within my power. So in the context of that discussion, or of that pastime, this verse appears. Purport. Since Durvasa Muni wanted to chastise Maharaj Ambarish, it is to be understood that he wanted to give pain to the heart of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the Lord says, Sadhavo Hridayam Mahyam. The pure devotee is always within the core of my heart. The Lord's feelings are like those of a father who feels pain when his child is in pain. Therefore, offenses at the lotus feet of a devotee are serious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very strongly recommended that one not commit any offense at the lotus feet of a devotee. Such offenses are compared to a mad elephant, because when a mad elephant enters a garden, it causes devastation. Therefore, one should be extremely careful not to commit offenses at the lotus feet of a pure devotee. Actually, Maharaj Ambarish was not at all at fault. Durvasa Muni unnecessarily wanted to chastise him on flimsy grounds. Maharaj Ambarish wanted to complete the Ekadashi Paran as part of devotional service to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he drank a little water. But although Durvasa Muni was a great mystic Brahmin, he did not know what is what. That is the difference between a pure devotee and a so-called learned scholar of Vedic knowledge. The devotees, being always situated in the core of the Lord's heart, surely get all instructions directly from the Lord, as confirmed by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita. Tesham evanukam partam aham jnanajam tamaha nashyam yatma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. The devotee does not do anything not sanctioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As it is said, Vaishnavera kriya mudra vigyeha na pujhai. Even the most learned or experienced person cannot understand the movements of a Vaishnav, a pure devotee. No one, therefore, should criticize a pure Vaishnav. A Vaishnav knows his own business. Whatever he does is precisely right, because he is always guided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So sadhava hridayam mayam, that's the first point. The devotees are in the heart of the Lord. In the third canto, the Lord told the Kumars, I'd cut off my right arm for the sake of my devotees. Yes. And of course, they have to hold on a second. temporary. So the sadhus, sadhu means a devotee. He's actually a sadhu. What is that? Sadhureva samantabhya. The samyak vyavasito isa. Even if the devotee does something abominable, he's still a sadhu. Because his determination is that I have to serve Krishna. And a non-devotee has no such credit. When he does something abominable, it's just abominable. That doesn't mean, of course, that devotees should behave abominably, but even if they do, even if there's sometimes some discrepancy, kshipram bhavati dharmatma, it quickly comes to the right platform. Why? Because Krishna is there in the heart of the devotee. That comes next. So the whole 12th chapter, not the whole, but a large part of the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Yomad Bhakta Same Priyaha, Yomad Bhakta Same Priyaha, Bhaktaste Tiva Me Priyaha. The devotees are dear to me, the devotees are dear to me, the devotees are dear to me. Again and again, Krishna repeats it in that 12th chapter. Me Priyaha, they're dear to me, and Ativa Me Priyaha, they're exceedingly dear to me. The Lord, the Gyanis are not as dear to Krishna, and the Karmis, what can we say? But and the Mayavadis. But the devotees are dear. Why yeyatamam prapadyante tangstataiva bhajamyam. As one surrenders to me, I reciprocate with him. Or elsewhere it's said, what is that I was thinking? Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dvesho sti not priyaha. I'm equal to everyone, no favorites, no. Yes. No one's my friend, no one's my enemy. But ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya. When someone serves me in devotional service, maite, they're in me. The same point. Maite. They're in me means they're in my heart. Otherwise, everyone's already in Krishna. Vasudeva Sarvamiti, everyone's in Krishna. All the cosmic manifest, even the inner elements are within Krishna. But maite means they're in my heart of hearts. Maite te shuchapyaham. And therefore, I'm in them. I'm in them means Krishna, again, he's andantarastha, paramanu jayantarastam, he's within everything. But he's within the heart, especially, of the devotees. Madanyat te najananti. They don't know anything else but me. They're not interested in karma. They're not interested in gyan. They're not interested in mystic yoga siddhis. They're not interested in other gods. They're not interested in anything else. They're not even interested in their own interests. They have no separate interests. Their only interest is how to please Krishna, the gopis. What are they interested in? Just to please Krishna, that's all. Our reputation doesn't matter, our family, our babies don't matter, our husbands don't matter, nothing matters, Krishna matters. Because Krishna is in our heart. So this is the devotee. They don't know anyone else but Krishna. Madanyat te najananti. The Krishna is their life and soul. Mat prananatas tu naiva sevanapara. You're my life and soul. You do what you like, but you're always my life and soul. Not that, well, if you mistreat me, I'll find someone else. If you don't provide the items on my laundry list, then I'll go elsewhere. If God doesn't provide what I demand, then that's the end of that. No. What is that Narottam Das Thakur says? Haha Prabhu Nanda Shuta Brishabhanu Shuta Yuta. What's the next line? K.H. Tomar? The devotee prays, my dear Krishna, along with Srimati Radharani. Now you're here as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes. But then the next one. Yes. Narottama Daskoi, Nataliho Rangapai, Toma Bine Keache Amar. That you've appeared as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nanda Sutta, son of Nanda Maharaj, Vrishabhanu Sutta Juta, along with the daughter of Vrishabhanu, Srimati Radharani. So please don't kick me away. You can trample me, you can do whatever you want, but please don't kick me away. Don't kick me out of your service. Please let me serve you. Please let me serve you. Why? Toma bine keache amar. Without you, I have nothing. I have nothing but you. So please don't kick me away. So madanyate najananti. They don't know anyone else but Krishna. That's the pure devotee. Please engage me in your service. I may be a sweeper. I may be anything. What is that? The Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, let me be an insect in the house of your devotee. I don't want to be Bahirmukh Brahma, a non-devotee Brahma. Just let me be in the association of your devotees. Madanyatena jananti, because they don't know anyone else but you. This is the aspiration. I don't know anyone else but you, and I don't want to know anyone else but you. Anyone else, that doesn't mean, like the neophyte, that Archaye, what is that? Hariye, all he knows is himself and the deity, and everyone else is like Nachanyeshu, Bhakteshu Chanyeshu. He's Prakrita Smrita. You can find the verse. This is the neophyte devotee. Archaye evam hariye. Yes, Archayam eva hariye pujam. Pujam ya shraddhaye hate. He's very faithful in worshiping the Lord. Very faithfully, he's doing puja, he's worshiping the deity. But natad bhakteshu chanyeshu. But he's not interested in the other devotees. Bhakteshu cha anyeshu. He's not interested in the devotees associated with the Lord, just me and the Lord. That's the neophyte mentality. He doesn't see that Krishna means Krishna with his devotees. Krishna's never alone. That's one of Krishna's special characteristics. He's always surrounded by his devotees. So at least one has to come to the second-class platform, Prema Maitri Kripopeksha, to make friends with those who are equal, on an equal level of devotional service. To love the Lord, Prema, then to make friends with the devotees, to be merciful to others. Another way of reading Nacha Bhakteshu Chanyeshu, that one has great faith in the Lord, the deity, but not in Bhakteshu Chanyeshu, in the other devotees. He's not interested in them. And another way to read that is Nacha Bhakteshu Anyeshu. not in the devotees and not in others. He's interested in the Lord, he has love for the Lord, but he's not interested in the devotees. Na bhakteshu, na cha anyeshu. And he's not interested in anyone else. He's not interested in the balisheshu, in the childish non-devotees, the innocent people who are meant to be Krishna conscious, but who are bereft of knowledge of devotional service, bereft of devotional association, bereft of the holy name. They're not getting the opportunity. So a devotee like Prahlad Maharaj, Shochetato vimukha cheta sa indriyartha maya sukhayam paramudvahato vimudhan. I'm simply lamenting for those who are vimukha cetasa, who turn their faces away from you and who are missing out on their eternal relationship with you. That's Prahlad Maharaj. But the neophyte devotee, nacha bhakteshu, he's not even interested in the devotees. To say nothing of taking an interest in the ordinary people. He's not even interested in the Vaishnavas. He's so cripple-minded that he only sees himself in the Lord. That's also something. At least he sees the Lord. He's counted as a Vaishnav. But prakrita smrita, just a little above the material platform. Because he doesn't actually realize the Lord. He doesn't realize the heart of the Lord. What is it? What is there in the Lord's heart? The devotee is there. Yes, the devotee is there in the Lord's heart. So when the devotees are so dear to the Lord, one can make so much progress just by the mercy of a devotee. Prabhupada gives the example that some big man may be practically impossible to meet. What will you do to get his favor? But if you offer his son like a 2-cent lozenge, oh, such a nice man. Prabhupada quotes a proverb, love me, love my dog. You meet a man and you say, Prabhupada, he gestured, he said, oh, what a nice dog you have. And the man says, oh yes, he's a very good dog. So because you appreciate the dog, the man feels, yes, appreciated. Therefore, by serving the devotees, one can make so much progress because the Lord becomes pleased. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasad. When the pure devotee is pleased, the Lord is more pleased. Mad bhakta puja vyadika. The Lord says the worship of my devotee is better than worship of me. This is a secret of devotional service. If one can please the devotee, Krishna is automatically pleased. Because the devotee is in the very heart of the Lord, so dear to the Lord. Bhaktaste ativa me priya. So one can please the personality of Godhead by pleasing the Lord, by pleasing the devotee, or yasya prasada nagatir katopi. If we displease the pure devotee, then we're nowhere. Without the mercy of the devotee, we're nowhere. And what to speak of offending the devotees. The Lord says again in the 3rd canto that I can tolerate an offense to myself, but I can't tolerate an offense to my devotee. And the example is given just as a man may tolerate hot sun on his head, but hot sand on his feet is intolerable. if you've been to like Puri in the summer, if you ever try to walk along the sand, it's so hot. Although Sanatana Goswami did it, but the sand is so hot. It's like a torture. You light a fire under your feet. So hot sand is practically intolerable. Hot sun, you can bear it. But hot sand on your feet is intolerable. So the Lord may tolerate an offense to himself, but an offense to his pure devotees beyond the Lord's willingness to tolerate. So sadhava hridayam mahya. And from another point of view, one can enter into the heart of the Lord. Would you like to be in Krishna's heart? The sadhus are there. The devotees are there. So if we can please the sadhus, they'll say, come on, what is that? Krishna Bolo Sange Cello. Again, this Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that we're chanting Hare Krishna, Radha Krishna Bolo. We're chanting Hare Krishna. Come on, join us. Radha Krishna Bolo, Sangha Cholo. And you'll have no more miseries. So then someone may say, well, you're saying Sangha Cholo, come on, follow us. But where are you going? If I follow you, where will I end up? So that's answered here. You'll end up in the heart of the Lord. Yes.
It's the fifth one. The fifth verse.
Where's the...
Number 5. I don't know how that happened.
Yes, Krishna Bolo Sange Chalo E Matra Bhikkhachai. We're just asking this bhiksha, this begging something from you. What is that? Chant Hare Krishna and come along with us. That's all. So that coming along with us means going back home, back to Godhead, but it also means entering into the heart of the Lord. The devotees are in the Lord's heart, and if I join the devotees, I also enter the Lord's heart. That opportunity is there. Otherwise, how will you get in? That's also described. Pantastu koti satavatsara sampragamyo vayoratapi manaso munipum bhavan. You may travel for thousands of years at mental speed and not even get near the tip of the toe of Govinda. But by serving the devotee, one can gain a place in the heart of Govinda. In the heart of Govinda. So this is the opportunity. Sadhunam hridayam tvaham. And sadhava, what is that? Sadhavo hridayam mayham. The sadhus are in my heart, and sadhunam hridayam tvaham. I'm in the hearts of the sadhus, the devotees. That means, again, that those who have Krishna in their hearts, they're actually the sadhus. The devotees are actually the sadhus. Not those who have sense gratification in their hearts, who have impersonal liberation in their hearts, who have anyabhilashita, so many other things in their hearts. But those who have Krishna in their hearts, sadhunam hridayam tvaham, they're sadhus. So just like, so that was Durvasa Muni. He wasn't a sadhu. His own prestige, his own manoratena sati dhavato bahi, his own sense of who he was and how important he was, that took center stage. And therefore his mind started running. This man has offended me. He thought he knew what was what, and he's going to set Ambarish Maharaj straight. But the sage, although he was a sage, was only a sage. And Ambarish Maharaj, although a king, was better than the sage. Why? Sadhunam hridayam tuham, because Krishna is in his heart. And of course, Krishna is in everyone's heart. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannavishto. But sadhava, what is that? Sarvasya chaham hridi sannavishto matasmitir jnanam apohanam. But he gives some people remembrance of him, some people forgetfulness. Why? According to what they want. Yeyatamam prapadyante. So Ambarish Maharaj only wanted Krishna consciousness, only wanted to satisfy Krishna. And therefore Krishna from within his heart directed him. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. Tesham satadajuktanam pajatam priti purvakam. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam priyantite. Whatever Ambarish Maharaj did was perfect. It was beyond criticism. It was faultless. Because Krishna was telling him from within, this is what you should do. And he did it. And the sage was on his own, just with his anger and with his own ideas. Of course, one shouldn't be puffed up that, yes, whatever I do is dictated by Krishna. Whatever I do is perfect. Then one becomes, again, proud and foolish. There's a place in Bhagavad Gita as it is, where Prabhupada had written that whatever the devotee does is perfect because it's dictated to him from within. And then on the page proofs, this was the original abridged Bhagavad Gita as it is. On the page proofs, Prabhupada inserted that it said, directed by Krishna from within, and Prabhupada put, and confirmed by the bona fide spiritual master. The devotee doesn't think that I have a special access. Krishna's there in my heart. But he thinks that my spiritual master has Krishna within his heart. And when I follow the directions of Krishna, of my spiritual master, then I'm following Krishna's directions. Then I'm following Krishna's directions. So in that way, we have to move. There's just something I'm thinking about. Let's see. Yes. The Narottam Das Thakur also sings, Tomar Hridaye Sada Govinda Vishram. My dear Vaishnav, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, is always resting in your heart. Vishram means he's resting there. Tomar Hridaye Sada, always. Govinda Kohen. And Govinda himself says, More Vaishnav Paran. The Vaishnavas are in my heart. So this is the position. Tomar Hridaye Sada Govinda Vishram. Krishna is in your heart. The spiritual master particularly is taken as the direct manifestation of Krishna, because he's regarded as being within Krishna's heart. Why? He's representing the innermost desire of Krishna. Krishna's desiring to uplift everyone, to bring everyone back to Godhead, back to home. And the spiritual master is representing that confidential mission of the Lord. So Govinda Vishram, Govinda himself, sits in the pure heart. We read that in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was cleaning the Gundicha temple to make it pure like the heart of a pure devotee. Anyabhilasha Shunyam. So the devotee is in Krishna's heart, and Krishna's in the heart of the devotee. This reciprocal, intimate relationship. So it works two ways. If we offend the devotee, then we're attacking Krishna's heart. We're offending Krishna's heart. And if we please the devotee, then we're at once pleasing the heart of the Lord, who otherwise can't be pleased, not by our own effort, not by our own assets, our own opulences, but by Krishna's mercy. So, sadhavo hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam. Therefore, one's advised, always be very careful. Don't offend the Vaishnavas. Don't offend the pure devotees. Then someone says, well, here it says the pure Vaishnavas. If I offend the ordinary Vaishnavas, that's not an offense. That's not such a big thing. No, be careful. Even the stepmother of Dhruva Maharaj got in trouble because she had to suffer, because she offended Dhruva, and he later became a pure devotee. He was just a little boy who wanted a kingdom, but because he later became a pure devotee, she had to suffer for offending him. Therefore, one should be very careful not to offend the devotees or not to offend anyone needlessly. Not to offend anyone needlessly. I was told a story one time by our Srinathji Prabhu from Bombay, who was told this story by his father. Came from a very big business family, and the story was in the context of business, but it fits our context also. That once there was an elephant, and the elephant was taking pleasure in stomping on little ants. The ants would, be marching in their file, going somewhere, and the elephant would see them, and his fun would be to stomp on them. So the ants got together and they had a meeting. What will we do? We're being exterminated by this elephant. He's killing us wholesale. What to do? So one ant said, don't worry, I'll do something. And at night, while the elephant was sleeping, he crawled into the elephant's ear and began moving around in the elephant's ear, moving around, and drove the elephant mad. So a little insignificant ant, but he drove the big elephant to madness. And when elephants go mad, they're shot, or it's the end at the end for the elephant. So in the business context, don't neglect anyone thinking, oh, he's my not an important customer, or he's my competitor. That you have to deal properly with everyone. You don't know what the future will bring. And in our larger context, the devotional context, we should deal nicely with everyone. Suridam Sarvabhutana. Krishna is the best friend of all living entities. He is the father, Aham Bija Pradapita, of all living entities. So we should be reluctant to offend anyone. Leave aside offending the Vaishnavas, pure, not pure. There's no need to make such distinctions and thinking that, well, it's not so bad, I only offended neophyte devotees. We should be very careful. Or on the other side, better than just being careful not to offend, one should have affection for the devotees. Prema Maitri Kripopeksha. When a devotee is on an equal level of us, with us, we should be very friendly. Sincerely friendly, not politically friendly, policy friendly, but friendly with the devotees. And merciful to the others who may become devotees. Give them Krishna consciousness. In the nectar of instruction, that one should honor within the mind anyone who's chanting Hare Krishna. And anyone who's received initiation, we should offer our pranams to, offer our respects. And any devotee who's very expert and advanced in devotional service, whose heart is free from the tendency to criticize others, whose heart is free from any anarthas, Shrushaya, Bhajana Vigyam Ananyamanya. Such a person we should be very eager to associate with and serve. So these are some of the secrets. On the one side, we can spoil devotional service by offending devotees. And we've seen it, that a devotee who otherwise has so many good assets crashes by offending Vaishnavas, or offending even one Vaishnava. And on the other side, by pleasing a Vaishnava, all success. All success. Just if the Vaishnava is pleased. So these are some of the considerations. Sadhunam hridayam tvaham. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham. Madanyat te najananti naham tebhyo managapi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Any questions, comments?
Jai Guru Maharaj. Mahaprasad here.
Mahaprasad, Govinda.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Just a quick question, Guru Maharaj. It is very, very nice to hear about the importance of, understanding the respect that we should show to Vaishnavas. Sometimes when we are preaching, we tend to be a little bit exclusive to those who may be a little bit antagonistic towards Krishna consciousness. And we may focus on those, who are interested in Krishna consciousness. But from what you're describing, obviously, we've got to be inclusive, not just devotees, even non-devotees, we should show compassion. So how do we develop that ability to be able to be inclusive of those who may be antagonistic towards bhakti or devotional life?
how do we act in such a way? How do we become inclusive toward those who may even be antagonistic? Well, first thing is we should develop love for the devotees. If we don't even like the devotees, how are we going to, if we don't even feel anything for the devotees, what will we feel for the ordinary people? You know, I go out and preach because I have great compassion for the conditioned souls. And then I come back to the temple or to the association of devotees and I ignore everyone or I offend everyone. How is that possible? And what will we bring people to? A society where everyone hates one another, where everyone ignores or offends everyone. That's not going to work. So the beginning is to have, really it starts with our relationship with the devotees. That's also there, Rahuganaita, without getting the bathing oneself in the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee. No one can get Krishna consciousness. So it begins there. It begins with our relationship with the devotees, even more than our relationship with Krishna. Even more than our relationship with Krishna. So prema, we should have love for Krishna, but maitri, intimate affection, friendly relationships with the devotees, that should be cultivated. Therefore, those verses are there in Upadeshamrita, Tadati Pratigrinati, how to develop loving dealings with the devotees. And then those dealings that spirit will extend itself. When we have loving dealings with devotees, then our lives become wonderful. And then we think we want to include others in this. Why are others missing out? We have such a wonderful association. We have the greatest person, the personality of Godhead, and he's surrounded by wonderful devotees. So then you feel like bringing others. Our Vaisheshika Prabhu sometimes says about book distribution, distribute the overflow. That is, if you're overflowing with Krishna consciousness, then you have a surplus. When you're short on money, you don't feel very charitable. But when you've got so much money, you don't know what to do with it all. Then you feel like, well, you might as well give some charity. So when there's an overflow, then we can distribute the overflow. And how do you get that overflow? By loving dealings with the devotees. So that's the first thing. Prema, love for Krishna, and maitri, friendship with the devotees. Then kripa will be there. Let me be merciful to others and bring them on board. And as for those who are antagonistic, prema, maitri, kripa, upeksha, ignore them. Ignore them. There's so many innocent people who are not antagonistic. If they knew about Krishna consciousness, they might take it. If they understood something, you light a little spark and it may catch on. So there's so many innocent people, interested people, at least innocent, not antagonistic, open-minded people, receptive. So the preachers naturally concentrate there. Where are those interested or innocent or open-minded people who might give a little hearing, might take a book, might take some interest? And the antagonistic, why should we fret and fret and fret about them? Better to ignore them. That's mercy to them. Because if we push them and try to deal with them, they just become offensive. And that makes their life worse. So mercy to them is ignore them. Let them say whatever they want to say. Let them do whatever they want to do. And we're not going to take the bait and get into a tussle with them. Ignore them. That's the vision of the second-class devotee, prema, maitri, kripa, upeksha. He's not going to waste his time. And we see that in the practical dealings, book distributor says, nah, the meets a person like that. Then the experienced book distributor, that's all right, have a good day. He's not going to waste his next hour talking to that fool. That's all right, have a good day. And he goes on to the next person, because there'll be those who are interested. There'll be those who are interested, or those who are receptive, those who will say, hey, what's this all about anyway? And show me one of your books. That person, or the person who's tapping his foot along with the kirtan, that person. Even from the point of view, what would you say? Mobilization of resources. We only have so much energy. So let us invest in those who are a little receptive. And then those who are on the first class platform, they're beyond that. They see everyone as a devotee. But we may not be on that platform. Is that all right?
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you,
Very
Mahaprabhu.
nice.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Something else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams. I really enjoyed this session. The purport, the verse really spoke to me, and of course your whole explanation. My question, just for clarification, of course we know we have to be careful not to offend any living entity. But your example of the mother who had offended a quote unquote ordinary Vaishnava who later become a pure devotee, had to suffer then. A few clarifications. I assume that this mother had suffered consequences already when she performed an offense to this ordinary devotee. Did she suffer again, and even on even more when that person became a pure devotee? So double consequence. If not, why is it delayed? And to clarify, an offense to a pure devotee, the consequences are much higher than to, I guess, a quote-unquote ordinary devotee who's practicing sincerely?
Well, first thing, we don't want to calculate. Here's an ordinary devotee, here's an advanced devotee. This person, there's a 20% risk of getting in trouble if I offend him. This person, there's a bigger risk. One should be well disposed toward all devotees, and one should be careful not to offend any devotees. That example is there of the elephant. The most insignificant little creature drove him mad. So we should be, therefore Yamaraj told his dutas, his messengers, when you see those people with tilak and beads around their neck, don't even go near them. Don't even go near them. These are not the people for you. They're not meant to be punished. Don't even touch them. No, but they did this, they did that. That was a Jamil. He look at his record. He did this, he did that. No, he's chanted my holy name. Krishneti yasya giritam manasajriyeta. Anyone who chants the holy name of the Lord should be respected. But beyond that, what is that? Atmopam yena sarvatra in Bhagavad Gita. Atmopam yena sarvatra pashan samam pashyati yorjana. Sukham va yadiva dukkham sayogi paramomata. The Lord says one should see everyone, atmavat sarvabhuteshu, to be like oneself. I don't like to suffer. Why would I want to see anyone else suffer? I want others to be happy. Why wouldn't I want all others to be happy? That idea we should have. Not that, well, I'll offend these, but I won't offend those. We want to come to this higher platform where we see everyone in relationship to the Lord. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmayavabhut vijanata tatrako mahakashoka ekatvam anupashyataha niyashopanishad. There's no illusion or anxiety for one who sees everyone in relationship to Krishna. When we miss out the relationship of the other living entities with Krishna, then we're not seeing the picture as it is. That's the first thing. As far as, you'll read this pastime in the 4th canto concerning Dhruva Maharaj, who was just a little boy, and he wanted to climb on his father's lap, but his stepmother was envious. No, because you're not my son, you can't do that. Or indirectly indicating you can't have the kingdom because you're not my son. Proud. So later she had to suffer. He wasn't even a devotee of any rank at that point. He was just a little kid who wanted to get on his father's lap. But later he became a Vaishnava, and an exalted Vaishnava at that. So she had to suffer. Is that all right? I know there's lots more questions surrounding that. I think you'll need to read that portion of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then you'll see how the whole picture unfolds.
Yes, thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, looks like we're at the end of our hour, and there's more things happening over here on this side. So my respects and thanks to all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for joining us. And thank you everyone for coming and for your participation. And we'll be sending out details about next Sunday's class in the coming days.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
There's the whole gang in Leicester. Hare Krishna.
Unmuted now.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai Padumna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Maharaj.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.